From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Tuesday morning at 6 o'clock. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for getting your day started with us. And Miller starting the day with us as well. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, boy, what a beautiful sunrise out there this morning, huh?
Yeah, it really is. I love those colors. One of the perks of the job.
Boy, sure. Oh, look at that. Man, just absolutely stunning. You should have seen it just a few minutes ago. Absolutely picture perfect. You see, we got some clouds out there, and those clouds could spit out some rain as we go along this afternoon. So as you're stepping out the door this morning for work and school, don't forget the umbrella. 44 right now at the airport, feels like 39. Humidity at 63%. The dew point's down to 32. Winds out of the southwest at about 9 miles an hour. Let's crunch some numbers. Yesterday, our high below average got up to about 59. We'll see highs in the 50s and 60s again today. You can see we had no precipitation yesterday. We're pacing ahead for the month. Still for the year, we're a little bit below average, and we're going to hopefully alleviate some of that over the course of the next several days as we've got rain in the forecast today, tomorrow, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. Temperatures for the most part waking up in the 40s. We do see some 30s out there. Highs today in the 50s and 60s. You can see we have some breaks for some sunshine this afternoon. On a day like today, not a good idea, because what that's going to do is going to surface, that's going to heat the surface, more rising air that will add to the instability. So we could see some isolated thunderstorms this afternoon because of that. We already got enough instability up aloft to see a few. That could just add to that possibility. High today getting up to 62 here in Billings. There you go. As we get into the afternoon, there's that chance of rain coming into play on this Star Wars Day. Yes, may the 4th be with you. Now, we know Victoria is a huge Star Wars fan.
Not.
So I want to have a little bit of fun and put your knowledge to the test this morning. Is that okay? First of all, I've got to get in order to do this game. If I can get it on here. I don't know. Let's see if I can put this thing on. I wasn't planning on wearing it with a jacket this morning, but see if I got it here. Here we go. I think. I can't find the arm. Where's the arm at?
Oh no. Like I'm watching my daughter get herself
Can you help me, Brett?
dressed.
I can't find the arm on this thing.
There
it is right there. Is that the arm right there?
4th.
There we go. All right. You could tell I wasn't the best Jedi in the world. Okay, cool. And also, I got to have the presence of Master Yoda while we're doing this as well. So there's Yoda there, too. I don't know if Yoda can stick up there. All right, are you ready? So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little quick game this morning called Star Wars or Star Trek. I'm going to show you some photos, and you've got to tell me if it's from Star Wars or from Star Trek. Ready to play?
Sure.
All right, so here comes our first picture. Is that from Star Wars or Star Trek?
That's Star Wars.
All right, do you know who that is?
Chumbawamba. No, what's his name? Yoda. Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Did you say?
Chumbawamba. Wasn't that like a 90s band?
They had a hit called Tub Thumpin'. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Okay, good. All right, there you go. That's Star Wars. All right, how about this?
That creepy thing? That's probably Star Wars.
That is correct. Yeah, that's the Emperor from Star Wars. Man, you're doing good.
Yeah.
You sure you're not a Star Wars fan?
Well, my grandparents used to watch Star Trek. So I can sing, yeah.
All right, cool.
I can eliminate. Process of elimination.
All right, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Is that Star Trek? Yeah.
Are you sure?
Star Trek, yeah.
You want to go? Okay, yeah, that's the Starship Enterprise. If you were going to say the Millennium Falcon, I would have thrown this Yoda hat at you. All right, do another one.
That's
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yes, the pointy ears, Star Trek all the way.
That is Star Trek. Do you know who that is?
The only character from Star Trek I can remember the name of is Spock. But I don't know if that's who that is.
That's exactly right.
Well, there you go.
You sure you don't have Google opened up over there?
I don't know.
All right, let's do one more. Star Wars or Star Trek?
It's Star Wars.
Yes, do you know who the name of that one?
R2-D2.
Man, you did.
That's like common knowledge.
Somebody coached you up.
No, it'd be like pulling up a picture of Yoda and be like, who's this?
You did a great job. You went 5-0 on that. I'm going to have to make it. We're going to do sports questions next time. I'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do sports because then we're totally.
By the way, may I say one more time, may the 4th be with you.
I cringe every time I hear it. All right. Well, thank you for that fun trivia. You go have your fun over there, sir. I will get on to the serious stuff, the news. Bye. Well, our top story this Tuesday. A Billings man is behind bars this morning after holding 2 women hostage and is now facing multiple charges after an hours-long standoff in the Heights. 47-year-old Donald Foster was arrested on charges of assault with a weapon, aggravated kidnapping, and aggravated sexual intercourse without consent. He was recently released from prison on armed robbery charges. Yesterday, police were called to a home around 2 a.m. on the 300 block of Stillwater Lane. The home belonged to Foster's mother, who called police saying she and an 18-year-old woman were being held against their will. Negotiators arrived and Foster let his mother go, but kept the young woman inside. Around 9:30 a.m., he released the second hostage. Foster surrendered shortly after and was taken into custody. The situation led officials to alert residents in the neighborhood to shelter in place, but one notification was mistakenly sent out to all of Yellowstone County. Officials used a computer system that generally announces weather-related information. They say operators tried to zero in on the Heights and areas surrounding the standoff, but a glitch sent it out to everyone. An earlier alert was sent out via the Code Red app and was contained to the correct location. County officials recommend everyone to sign up to get notified through that app. The Bighorn County, Montana coroner finds himself on the other side of the law this morning. 37-year-old Daryl Nordquist is facing felony theft charges. Court documents state he bought 2 dirt bikes and an ATV, even though he had the feeling they were stolen. Nordquist said he purchased the vehicles without titles from someone named Josh. Prosecutors say further investigation showed he knew for a fact he was buying stolen items. Now we go to north central Montana, where a man is set to appear in court today, charged with burning down an apartment complex in Choteau. 16 people were displaced and several pets were killed in last week's fire. Dennis Jackson, a resident of the complex, is accused of pouring propane in his apartment, then lighting it on fire. It caused an explosion and took firefighters days to put it out. Jackson faces prison time and fines. The motive remains unknown. Montana Republicans are turning up the heat on the state Supreme Court. The party sent out a mailer saying the 7-member court must be investigated. GOP legislative members have already created and funded a special committee to look into potential bias in the courts. They say state judges have been lobbying on bills before the legislature, proving their prejudice against certain laws, including one that would give the governor more power to appoint judges. One Supreme Court justice called it perfectly normal for judges to weigh in on potential laws that affect them directly. But that law is being challenged in the high court right now, and Republicans fear it won't get a fair hearing. The case has one more legal argument brief 1 week from today before the Supreme Court is set to rule. 1 year after the pandemic delivered a major blow to Billings businesses, local retail developer Steve Corning says, surprisingly, the world of retail is back in a big way. Corning was the driving force behind the Shiloh Crossing development in West Billings and tells us some retailers actually had record sales this past year. But for others, it was definitely survival of the fittest. Q2's Jay Cohn sat down with Corning to reflect on the world of retail in the wake of the pandemic.
Billings retail developer Steve Corning says nothing compares to April, May, and June of last year, a stretch he refers to as the hardest 3 months of his 40-year career.
It was a crisis, a retail crisis of unmitigated proportions. I mean, I had, over the course of my career, seen 1 or 2 bankruptcies filed, and you'd lose, 30 or 35,000 square feet, which is certainly a large amount of square footage. And it gets your attention, but I had never seen such an across-the-board wholesale slaughter.
By late summer and early fall of 2020, Corning says most retail activity was well on its way back.
Some people had the best years they ever had last year. Certainly it was the food retailers, the grocery retailers, the general merchandise retailers like Target and Walmart, and then other essential retailers, drugstores, dollar stores, for instance. Those types of things did very, very well.
Plus, Corning also has noticed a new trend in Billings that's helping fuel the local retail economy.
We have seen many, many new people move into Billings and want to rent space for small businesses. They either have a franchise or they have an idea or they bought a business. We've had in the last 6 months more of that than I can recall in the past several years. And definitely it's people like selling a house in California with a big gain, wanting to move to an easier place to live. And, they've selected Billings and other cities in Montana.
Adding to Corning's optimism, the new Rocky Vista University Medical School that's slated to begin construction here near Monad and Shiloh later this summer. Corning sees this adding a new dimension to the local economy.
I see that as a really important seminal development in Billings. I think the one thing we have lacked here is a higher education graduate school base that you say Bozeman and Missoula have. And this is really going to bring a high quality student and, a lot of the associated ancillary services with it.
So in spite of the pandemic challenges, Corning believes momentum is back on the local retail scene. It comes on the heels of a year that no one wants to remember. In Billings, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
Corning also told us the pandemic has changed consumers' shopping habits. Gone are the days when people would spend hours or an afternoon strolling the shops at the local mall. Now he says people take a much more targeted approach when it comes to dining, entertainment, and shopping. Also making headlines this morning, the FDA could soon allow children as young as 12 to receive Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. Under current rules, vaccine recipients must be at least 16 years old. The expanded authorization is expected to be announced within the next week. More than 2,000 children ages 12 to 15 took part in a vaccine trial, which proved to be 100% effective. More than 40% of American adults are fully vaccinated. And some news for those itching to travel this summer. A new proposal by the European Union would allow vaccinated Americans across the pond by the end of June. A few countries heavily reliant on tourism, like Iceland and Greece, have already opened up to Americans. Plans will likely require people receive their last dose of the vaccine at least 2 weeks before traveling. How those people will prove they received their vaccination remains one of the details that needs to be determined. And now we go to Mexico, where more than 20 people are dead after an overpass collapsed onto the road below in Mexico City. The overpass was carrying a subway train when a support beam gave way and collapsed. The overpass carrying the train fell about 15 feet. Rescue crews brought in a crane to hold up a subway car dangling over the side of the overpass so workers could search for survivors. About 70 people were hurt. President Joe Biden has increased the refugee admissions cap to more than 62,000 for the fiscal year. That's up from the previous administration's annual limit of 15,000. It's also a change of course for President Biden, who previously said the number would not change. The president said he plans to set a goal of 125,000 refugee admissions for fiscal year 2022 as well. A juror in the Derek Chauvin murder trial finds himself defending his participation in a protest last summer in Washington, D.C. Brandon Mitchell attended an event to commemorate Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. A picture of him at the event shows him wearing a T-shirt with the words, "Get your knee off our necks." Mitchell was one of the 12 jurors who convicted Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. Even though people at the event spoke out about officer-involved shootings, Mitchell maintains he went to remember MLK's famous speech. Legal experts say the picture might give Chauvin an angle to appeal his convictions on grounds he did not get an impartial jury. We're getting closer to normal every day here in Billings, and this summer we welcome back Alive After 5. Downtown Billings will be the host of 4 concerts this August. The first event kicks off August 5th at McCormick Cafe on Montana Avenue. And some other good news for music fans. The St. John's Summer Concert Series is coming back with 7 events. They run from June 24th to August 5th.